Hello, everybody. Helen Chenlu here from the Healing Place Energy School. How are you? I'm hoping that you are really, really well. For those people who do not know who I am a certified reflexologist, certified energy medicine practitioner, a Reiki master, and teacher. When I'm not doing hands-on healing, which I haven't since March 14, I spend time developing self care, self healing courses at the Healing Place Energy School. So I just want to check to see how everyone is doing this week. Give me a thumbs up if you hear me or say hello. I want you to feel free to ask me questions about what we are doing tonight. There's a lot that I have been asked to talk about, and I want to very much to get some things out there to just chit chat. But how are you doing? First of all, I know this has been a tough week. The pandemic and self quarantine is not the easiest thing to do. I've been home for this is going on my 8th weeks. I believe I am slowly crawling the wall. So let's talk about what I would like to talk about, plus what you might want to talk about, and things that have been asked of me. First of all, the topics tonight. I'm going to probably give you a plug about what's going on in my school and what courses that I'm teaching right now that I am in a process of developing. And I want to talk about karma. How karma could reward you or bite you right in the butt, and what you could do with karma to manipulate it for positive outcome. And then I want to talk about how negative energy gets caught and is literally stored on a cellular level, and what can you do to lift it and start to become more mindful of your habits so you could track more positive energy to you. This is really key. Who doesn't want to feel good about themselves? And just think, by being mindful, you could really manipulate the outcome to almost any situation. But it's a part of, I call it training. And then one of the things that I want to talk about is I'm going to show you a hand reflexology tip on how to address your adrenals. Uh, your adrenals is something that when we're stressed and anxious, you could feel the blood pumping through your body. So I'm going to end with that. And feel free to ask me questions because there's a lot of people who have thoughts about they want to know more about energy medicine. And here I am going to be sharing information. I've been doing this now since 2006 at the Healing Place in Medfield, Massachusetts. And I have seen people of all ages, from children to elderly people, who really want to um, have control over their health because we're so used to giving our healing powers away that it's become a habit. And now that people are starting to be more educated, they want to be proactive in their own health care. So that's just what the Healing Place Energy School is all about. I want to develop classes and courses to help people to self empower themselves so they can do something with their health through reflexology, chakra balancing, mindfulness, meditation. And then I'm hoping very much sometime this year start Reiki courses too. So not only are you able to help yourself, but you can also help your loved ones. And so I was talking to a reflexologist today. Uh, I'm just really amazed how this pandemic has affected everybody, all continents. And she was expressing to me, she lives in the West Indies. She's one of my subscribers to my newsletters, and she says reflexology is dead for her because people have become so competitive and they're so afraid they're not going to get a piece of the pie that they actually panic thinking that there's not enough. And the opposite is true to me. From what I've seen in my lifetime, there's more than enough to share with everybody. You have to just believe that goodness comes from everywhere, not only with yourself, but you could attract goodness to you. So, so let's talk about how karma can bite or reward you. The kind of karma that we are familiar with is about what you do to others will come back for you. So what goes around comes around. So instead of thinking of how karma could come back and bite you, can you think about how karma can really is there to teach you a lesson? I think about clients who come to see me at the healing place, and so many of them have what I call repetitive negative patterns. And a lot of people really believe that there's a lot of things they don't deserve things, and that's the reason karma comes and bite them in the butt. So instead of seeing how karma can hurt you, can you use it for your own purpose to elevate your energy to the next vibration? So one of the things when I get into what I call a negative cycle, I am thinking, why am I doing this? Because I'm one of those people that I get stuck in a mind thought. And then before I know it, I'm like really stuck and I can't get that thought out of my head. So, one of the things that I have learned how to do is stop negativity before I actually grow it like a disease. And how do you know that you're storing negativity? A lot of times you could actually feel it in your body. For those people who come to me, I'd say 75% of the people have digestive issues. And I first thing I think about people with energy profiles of negativity stuck in the stomach. A lot of times they are caregivers of their family. They worry usually excessively. They take on other people's problems like as though it's their own. This is something that I've started to talk about in my course that I'm developing right now, calling First Step to Your Spiritual Journey. Is starting to really learn your patterns, recognizing where you are and what can you do to break the cycle, because all energy is cyclical. It's very much like a boomerang. Whatever you put out there will come back to you. So if you put out negativity, you're going to grow the negativity within you and you're going to grow the disease or dissociation in your body until you manifest it into some kind of illness. So feel free, anybody, if you have questions, just write them in because I'm going to answer them at the end. So get in the habit of asking me questions because this is a time where you could ask the reflexologist. So, anyways, coming back to karma. So this negative energy really becomes the seed of these illnesses. And I always tell people who train with me in Reiki, everyone has defective DNA. And what triggers that weakness in your DNA to come out to become an illness? And usually it's some kind of event, something that has pushed the body over its limit, and the body no longer knows how to respond. So what happens a lot of time, the body starts to shut down because that's the only way it can cope is through the mechanism of quieting down the body. And this is one thing I love about reflexology. Reflexology is a tool that is used to calm the body down so the body has a fighting chance to heal. So by pressing on points on the hands, face, ears, feet, some people do body reflexology, but people say, well, that's massage or acupuncture. But there is such thing as body reflexology, which I'm not seeing. And all of those pressure points on the body runs through your certain nervous system. Information radiates up into the spinal cord, up into the brain, and the brain starts to recognize where the confusion is or are, and then starts to send messages to that part of the body to rebalance the energy. So that's really, really key. And the more that your body starts to stop the chaos, you'll come back and you'll be able to reset over and over again, which I think is incredible. So this is basically reflexology gives the body a fighting chance. So that's how I view that. So that's one way how karma could come and bite you. And have you ever thought, you know, what do you do to yourself every single day? As wonderful as reflexology is, it's just a tool, one tool that you need like a whole bunch of complementary tools. So, what do you do to manage your stress every single day? It has to be you have to be mindful of pretty much everything you do and say. So, get into the habit of recognizing when you start to have what I call a downfall. Ask yourself, why are you thinking these thoughts? Because every time you have a negativity, unless you know how to disperse it, it gets stored inside of here somewhere. So if you have OCD where you're obsessively thinking about the same thoughts over and over again, think about what you do to yourself and what you do to manage that energy to dissipate it. So I always say there's so much power in the word stop. Get in the habit of stopping yourself before you grow your own disease or illnesses or dissociation. It's very simple to do. You don't have to be very long. All you have to do is just basically stop, even for 10 seconds. You'd be surprised. That's number one. Two is your breath. Your breath is probably the most important tool in energy healing. And why? Why is that the case? Why is that the case? Because your cells are being frantic, the chaos. Let's say someone just gave you some terrible news, and your body does not know what to do because all your body systems are kind of like shouting at the same time. By stopping for a minute and taking 3, 4 really good breaths where your diaphragm is moving, you could actually move that energy out of your body. So you breathe in through your nose and you exhale out through your mouth until your diaphragm is moving. So that is a really, really helpful tip. Most people don't breathe fully. You'd be surprised. Even for the longest time, I did not know I wasn't breathing properly. I remember I had jobs in the past. I would end up breathing shallowly to the point I thought I was going to faint, literally faint. And all because I was suffocating myself within. So I make sure that I at least take several good breaths every hour. I try to do it consciously and mindfully every single breath I take. But sometimes what happens is I get into my mindset of writing, then I forget to breathe. Okay. So get into the habit of taking full breaths. All right. So, okay. Any other question? Anyone have any questions? I'm hoping that you do. Let me tell you a little bit of what I'm teaching right now at the Healing Place Energy School. And then I'm going to talk to you about adrenal hand reflexology and what your adrenals do. So right now, I'm in the midst of developing I would say a 5, maybe 6 part class series. It's called First Step to Your Spiritual Journey. And what this is teaching you is once the calling begins to call you, what does that mean? All of a sudden, you could hear, like, you feel like you have spirit guides starting to talk to you. Perhaps you want to become a healer. Perhaps what is going on right now is not suiting you, and you feel like the calling is calling you. And I'm starting to teach a course. What do you do with this information once you start to feel uncomfortable in your body? So the spiritual journey is about how to move from the what I call the ego mind world to the spiritual world of connecting to your own soul. It's basically is to fulfill your life purpose work. And so that's a 5, 6 courses right there because I want to teach people how to develop sensitivity by using all of your senses. Maybe you're sensitive with sight. Sometimes you have this feeling of knowing. You could hear something. You could smell something. You just have a feeling something is going to happen. So this energy is really important because your higher self is talking to you. And this is really key. Once you start to get this information, what do you do with it? And especially if you have no one to talk to about this is how you develop your senses. And the second course that I'm teaching right now, I just finished putting it together, is called Your Sacred Healing Space. Let's say you have healing tools and all of a sudden you go, okay, what do I do with it? Do I start healing myself? Do I do Reiki on myself? Do I do Reiki on somebody else? How do you get into that mindset of establishing a sacred place for your healing work? And it's really important, how do you keep yourself protected, grounded? How do you use your breath for the breathing? What do you do when you start to get feelings? Or better yet, you're doing healing work and also you get this, what I call it, something is talking to you, or the body is talking to you. It's being able to hear words in the silence, and then what do you do with that information? So these are the classes that I am in the process of developing for you, for those people who want to do healing work and how to begin. And then eventually, if there's enough requests, I'm going to develop a business course on how to make money doing this, because these are all things that I have done over the last 14 years. All right. So let's jump in on the your adrenals. Let's talk about the adrenals and what do they do. Uh, First of all, your adrenals are really important. They help to manage your stress and anxiety through producing hormones to keep you from flipping out. All right, your cortisol, adrenaline, and of course, I can't. There's too many syllables in the third hormones, and so you have two adrenals that lives above the kidneys, and they're pumping all the time. And one thing about adrenals, not only do they help you to manage your stress, they also manage your salt level, your electrolytes. They help to break down fats in the body. What else do they do? They produce hormones to regulate your metabolism, your immune system, to keep your blood pressure normal. And so it's very good. And this is what we need to respond to stress. Heaven forbid, you're about to get run over. All of a sudden, your adrenals will start pumping the hormones to get you moving. So the more you understand how to regulate the hormones there, you're going to be able to keep yourself calm. So where to begin there? Okay, let me see. On your hands, we're going to do some hand reflexology right here. I'm going to show you on my trusted little map. This map here, if you email me, I will send this to you. Your adrenals is, even though it states it's down here, your adrenals is a little bit further up, like more like right about here. No organs or glands are exactly in the same place for anyone, but this one's a little bit low down here. It's more like closer right about here. And you have one obviously in your right hand and the left hand. So what you do is, I'm going to mark where it is on my hand here. It's right about there and right about here. Since I'm not a very good lefty, so you're going to do this tip on both hands, and you're going to walk across like this. Walk across. Your thumb is on the back like this, and you're going to walk across, and then you're going to use your fingertips. You're going to dig right into that spot until it starts to release. How long to do this? Maybe about 3 seconds. You can walk all the way across if you like, and then you could come back and repeat. And if it feels like it's a little tender, I want you to work on that a little bit longer because that is telling you your adrenals a little bit taxed and it needs that attention. Especially now, people are feeling more stressed than ever before because of the pandemic. People are worried about their finances, going back to work, and there's a lot of things that we are all worried about right now. So come back and do this several times and this is going to help you. And then if you want to do it on your feet, see, here's my trusted reflexology feet. You could get these on my store, and I'll tell you how to buy them. But it's right about here. It's the same place. It's right if here. Let me see how did they write it. Where did they write it here? See here, they wrote way up there. That is not your adrenals. Your adrenals is more closer to here. This is more like your solar plexus. No, there was no two reflexology maps I've seen are exactly the same. So you might be thinking, well, which one should I use, Helen? I would strongly suggest there's some people do every single map that they find, they will work the points according to that map. But the way I was taught in American style, I come right about here and then I will press right about here. And this is right again above your kidney. And you're going to work that point on both sides of your feet. So so that's what you do. And then once you're done, go get some water. All right, dear, and drink because once you're done with any reflexology or energy work, you need to drink to help flush out toxins. So, this is my tip about karma, on adrenal, and I thank you so much for joining me. I don't see anyone with any questions. So I am going to end this broadcast and I'm hopefully I will you could join me again next Monday at 8 p.m. So this is Helen Chin Liu from the Healing Place Energy School. Check out my books right there. Know Your Chakras, Introduction to Energy Medicine. This is will go into more in detail how you can move energy through your body instead of having it stuck in your organs. And then my foot reflexology to promote relaxation. My hand version will be coming out soon. I'm hoping to finish that by at the end of this year. So this is Helen Chin Lu. I will talk to you soon. And please subscribe to my channel and share this video with anybody that you think that it will be helpful with. Bye-bye.